I'm Chris McDonough, a retired homicide detective. I've interviewed thousands of people, from serial killers to ministers. Welcome to the interview room. Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and good evening on Sunday for the Super Bowl. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time here in the interview room, we say aloha. It's great to have you here. And I'm recording this so that those of you who are watching the Super Bowl can actually watch the Super Bowl. And we don't have to interfere with your Sunday night activities. Hopefully, you're gathering around with your family. So I want to thank everybody, personally from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the TIR family. If you're brand new, we just ask one thing, and that you hit that subscribe button and then share this video everywhere on your social media platforms to your friends and families. That's all we ask. So I have a couple of things that I want to go over this evening. And I've been thinking about recently some of the high profile cases going on across the country. And last week I was in Virginia, and I was asked to testify in a case where a small child's life was taken. And it was kind of a really interesting situation that I was retained, and I looked at the evidence that was presented, and the state, it was a military situation. They had a woman in custody and for taking her child's life. And she sat in this facility for over 2 years, or at least was connected to it, out on bond at some point. And when I looked at the evidence as it was given to me through the case file, I discovered that it was possibly an accident. And when I presented that to the attorneys that were handling the case, they presented what I had found to some medical examiners, and they too felt that they could not exclude the evidence that I discovered. So where am I going with this? Well, she was found not guilty of killing her baby just a couple of days ago. And it really got me thinking. Experience has a lot to do with seeing evidence as clearly as it can be seen. And, I didn't learn this on the internet. I learned it through 40 years of experience and testifying as an expert in homicide investigation, as well as the death of children. And obviously, most recently, last week. Where I'm going with this is simple. Why are the victims' families not respected to the point where they don't go on trial with the victim. And we see this across the country, where the victim becomes the suspect, and the suspect becomes the victim. And if we look at the case going on in Colorado, Barry Morphew is the good guy, and Suzanne is the bad guy. If we look at what's going on in San Diego, Maya is the bad guy, and Larry potentially could become the good guy. Because if we look at how the system works, the scales of justice sometimes get tilted in such a way that the victim's family is left to ask a tremendous amount of questions until the trial. And when that trial comes, and I call that, right, phase 2 of the journey through violent crime. And in phase 2, there are all kinds of hearings, all types of, evidence motions, etc. And the victim's family gets to hear how the defense positions their family member. And sometimes, in my opinion, that's pretty heavy duty and re-victimization, because they don't get closure until the very end. But the suspect can sit in jail and say and do anything they want, and nobody misses a beat. Today, I'm going to bring up, on Super Bowl Sunday, I couldn't have thought of a better day. Actually, Richard reminded me it was Super Bowl Sunday, is Maricris and Richard, Maya's family. Aloha.
Hey, Chris.
Aloha.
Hi, everyone.
How are you guys?
Thank you for having us again. We're doing good. We actually called you to just say hi because we missed you. We just want to get in touch, but they were like, "Hey, you want to come into the platform?" Like, of course, we'll be happy to come back and see you guys again. So we're happy to be here again with you.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. You look great. You both look great. I know you guys have been doing a lot. So I'm just going to recap for a second, okay? Because for those people that have come in that have never been on this channel, they may not know your sister's story, okay? Because she obviously is a household name around the world, and you guys have put her there by your just amazing diligence in searching for her. So I just want to recap for people that in October, her ex-husband, was arrested for taking her life and taking her away from the family. He has not revealed where he has disposed of her. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, unfortunately.
Okay. And he's currently sitting in custody in San Diego Central Jail. He's been charged with murder, and he got rebuked recently by a judge for making calls to his 3 children from a jail telephone. And basically, I'm not going to go into that with the children, of course, right? That's for another time and another place. Okay, but I don't think that's my place here. But he was rebuked for basically, violating a protective order not to contact him. So it doesn't seem like this guy has any guardrails. And now I know that his family and your family, as you guys were at some point attached at the hip, for lack of a better term, because your sister was kind of the stabilizer in relationship to those two relationships. I mean, and you guys got along great back in the day. I mean, parties, and correct me at any time if I step out of the guardrail, okay, and you know, correct it, okay. But you guys now have been out every single weekend searching for her since the day she disappeared. And so how long are we into this now? How many weeks now or months?
13 months.
Yeah, we're going 13 months.
13 months now. Yeah.
13
Nonstop.
months.
Yeah.
You have been searching for 13 months for your sister in every terrain possible. I mean, most recently you had some drone work done. Tell us a little bit about that real fast.
Yeah. We had this gentleman from
Wyoming.
Wyoming come out. He has this ground penetrating sonar software that he uses on his drones. And like I said, God's been helping us, sending people. He came out for a weekend and helped us out in the Glamis area, just outside of Glamis, not in Glamis, specifically, but just outside of Glamis areas that we could, we were thinking that maybe Larry could have gone that day that he went out. He went out on his own for what?
Yeah.
A few hours that on January 7th. And so it's been a blessing to have companies come out. His company was called Rescue
Fine 911.
Fine 911. Yeah, it was a big help coming out. Unfortunately, we didn't find anything specifically, anything like hard evidence. We couldn't find anything that pinpointed that she could be out there. But we're continuing every weekend asking for supporters to come out, and just anybody that has that ground penetrating sonar software or technology. We're always constantly helping, and asking for help, and we're out there every weekend searching. We are coming back. Recently, now we have, like my wife mentioned, that she's what is it, level 1 searcher, certified tracker now. Yeah, we're constantly out there every weekend. Yeah, looking at different maps, different roads, different trails. A lot of off-road trails, just according to the evidence that we have gathered with the DA and with the police. We don't do with the Chula Vista Police Department. We can't specifically pinpoint where Larry went, but we're going back to places where we know he had been, places that he knows with the cheap groups and stuff. But yeah, we're not giving up. We're not losing help. And we continue praying and working hard towards our goal.
This is still the website, right, where people can go if they want to help and sign up and donate, etc. And I want to challenge everybody tonight. If you have just $1, if you can give more, that'd be great. But on helpfindmaya.com, hit their GoFundMe page, and every dollar goes towards supporting the efforts of finding Maya and supporting this family who's been doing this 13 months. 13 months. And you can imagine, Richard has a motorsports company, and Mary Chris is a nurse. And, Mary Chris has been doing this, not working. And I know at some point you have to go back, but at the same time, we know the mission that you're on, and you have scaled back a little. You were doing this almost 5 days a week, and now you're really full-time on the weekends, still doing whatever you do. And anybody that ever needs a motorcycle, a ATV, anything to do with the desert and or, dune bugging, etc. Richard's your guy. His company, Motorsports. Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, it's Speed Motorsports.
Yeah, Speed Motorsports.
You can follow me on Instagram. It's speed_motorsports. You can check out my videos, and I have a lot of my projects on there. So located in Moreno Valley, California.
There he is, and you'll probably see him out of Glamis or Acatia or wherever. He's that guy going up over the hill, air, catching air and going like this on the way out as he's coming down. So he's an amazing human being, and this is an amazing family. So just $1. If there are 10,000 of you at $1, that's pretty good. That's a good way to go to help this family. And we did it the last time,
Yes,
and I
that's
think we
right.
can do it again. And
Oh,
you
that's
guys got a drone. And you're getting software and stuff in that drone to see at night and to see into the ground and all this other stuff. So let's get them to the next level. And here's the cool part: they're also helping other families. If they needed it as well at some point, it's going to turn
Amen.
into a huge foundation in Maya's name, I bet, one day. But worst case scenario, I hope you guys write a book for families to help them through this process. I know. I hope she does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're still the husband of the year, and this is a good thing, right?
I have to keep reminding him of that, though.
It's
Exactly.
stressful. It's stressful now, man.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
we need to find justice. We need to find Maya. I mean, our biggest goal is just for her kids' sake, the long term, just so they know the truth. And it's been tough. So we got to bring her home to her three kids and
Yeah.
to the family.
Yeah.
She was a beautiful soul that, God, it says, there's that old saying that God always takes the best first. It's true, and it's kind of hits home.
You guys have been
It's
an example of an amazing family and how to do it. How if
Thank you.
nobody would ever wish this on anybody. Now that you're a
Yes.
tracker one, that's better than an Eagle Scout. Okay, tracker one. And you found an amazing human being.
Oh,
Yes, we
An
have
absolute
a friend, a
and
family member now.
I'm gonna introduce Fernando. I'm gonna let you tell everybody what your last name is, but Fernando's for over 35 years has been training trackers for search and rescue teams, not only to law enforcement officers, but military, outdoor enthusiasts across the United States, as well as several foreign countries. He became interested in the art of man tracking while serving in the Portuguese army in Angola. Wow. Wow. Obrigado, my friend, on that one.
Thank you.
He's utilized his skill in tracking on nearly a daily basis since then, and you assist law enforcement in finding crucial evidence in many high-profile missing persons and homicide cases across the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. Fernando, you are the man, and we're grateful to have you on the show tonight. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
And he's humble. I love it. I can see it. I can see it in him.
Mhm.
This is so tell us a little bit about how you got involved here, and what do you think so far up to this date?
A friend of mine that is a retired police officer out of Tennessee, he called me and he said that there was a family in San Diego that was looking for help in finding a missing lady. And he asked me if I was able to help him out. And of course, I'm going to say yes. And so Maricris contacted me like a couple of days later, and she asked me if I would be interested to go to San Diego, California, and actually teach this search and rescue team, not just to look for a sister, but also to help out on the future searches to help out other families. And of course, I say yes. And I went there, and the first day of the class, pretty much the first couple hours, I almost start crying because what they told me and what I hear from the other searchers, you know what I mean, around the area, it was a very, very sad situation. And so I hear things from all different people. And the last day of the class, I turned around and I said, all right, let me see what I can do here. Is you guys doing very well on the class? Now let me help you at least for a day or so and try to search to see if we can find something. And then we finished that. I returned back home. Before I go any further, I arrived there as a stranger and I left as a family member. I actually supposed to be there this weekend to try to help them with a search, but I got really sick with, you know what I mean, with a bad cold. But I'm planning to return over there sometime next week on my own will to help this family to see if we can find something, any type of clue or anything that we can actually let the law enforcement know, you know what I'm saying, to lead to the bigger puzzle. With my own experience, just in tracking, which is actually following people by the footprints, of course, it's much more than that. That lady has to be there somewhere. She needs to be found. And it's probably not going to be too far away because people has actually tunnel vision. You know what I mean? We're going to hike on the trail. Sometimes you don't want to leave off the trail. We can see like garbage on the side of the trail, but we don't want to go check. You know what I mean? Things are like that. And it's if it, everybody would like hike on the trail, go somewhere and keep the vision open, and you see something strange out of place, go check. And if something is there, just back out, mark the area, and call law enforcement. And the law enforcement, I'm sure, would be more than happy to go check those clues because they also want to close this case. They also want to find this young lady, like everybody does. So next week when I'm returning there, how many days I'm going to be there? I don't know. I'm probably going to be there for a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't like to give it up on a search when I get involved into it. But again, you know what I mean? Where are we going to search? I don't know where you are. So I got to look at the maps. I got to look at everything, you know what I mean, to see. And then come and she starts searching. And I hope that later along in the future that there's also going to get more searchers that want to get involved into it. Not just on this case, you know what I mean? In the future cases. And so that way everybody can help because it's not everybody's a bad people. We have good people, we have bad people, you know what I mean? But if everybody comes together and to help out this case, I to tell you the truth, this is not an ego thing. I don't want to find a lady. I want to find a foreclosure for the family. You know what I mean? I don't want to get credit for anything. I just want the family and these children to have closure and they know the truth what happened to the mom. That's why I want to go back there. 100% volunteer, by the way, to go there. They already offer me a place to stay. I know I'm not going to go hungry because they have plenty of food there for me. I just want to go help.
Yeah, that's
The
amazing.
people is very, very nice, and I just pretty much that's how it is. So.
Yeah, the world has fallen in love with this family for sure, and Maya has become a household name around the world. And when this airs, they're going to see a little bit about you and your sincerity and your skill set. Now, you're actually a guy who has been training not only law enforcement, but probably thousands of people on being on the ground. And so tell us a little bit about your skill set. What does man tracking actually mean and do?
I've been teaching classes across the United States for over since 1995, and I teach a lot of the search and rescue teams across the country, including military and law enforcement. Tracking is actually following someone by the footsteps. Every human being will leave behind about 2,500 to 3,000 footprints per mile. If somebody goes missing, of course, we're not looking just for footprints. We're looking like where the person tripped, fall, if he's walking backwards, if he's carrying any weight, no weight. And it's a lot of different things that going on a class, of course. And we have a lot of different levels in tracking. And there's a lot of difference tracking somebody for search and rescue than there is for law enforcement in the military, because you're tracking somebody for law enforcement. You already know that probably going to be a bad guy, going to hurt you. So it's completely different skill. But in search and rescue, it's actually a safety, and it's the number one skill out there. The dirt will not going to lie. The footprints going to be there, or they will not going to be there. But the most important thing is in tracking, everybody wants to see a perfect set of footprints on the ground, like on the beach. But that's not what we do. We actually look for what? Rock displacements, cuff marks, disturbance, bruising on the vegetation, small, tiny, tiny little detail that leads us to the bigger detail. And if somebody's carrying somebody and they dump it, you'll be able to tell from looking at the tracks if the person's left-handed, right-handed. You'll be able to tell that one footprint going to be much deeper than the other, or if he's carrying just a backpack, a slow walk, fast walk, jogging, running. You'll be able to tell everything by the person. But we have to start as from the point last seen, which, for example, in this case, the point last seen is from the house, then from a house possible to a car. Now, where you stop, whatever you did around there, has to be a lot of clues around that area that we actually can put those clues together with the rest of the law enforcement stuff that they already got on the side. Is up to them to says, okay, this matches whatever we got. This is the person we're looking for. So when we're going to go on these searches, we should never touch anything, should never move anything, and leave everything in place so that way law enforcement be able to do the job. That's why I'm saying, even if they find like a garbage can, a plastic bag full of garbage, and we move it, and something is in there, well, just from moving, my DNA, my fingerprints already can be in it, correct? So you just look at it carefully. If you smell something bad, you just mark it, let law enforcement know. If you find not just a body, but even like a cell phone or a lady's clothing, small little things, you know what I mean, that appears to be there already for a long time, pretty much over a year now, I would have called in law enforcement. Hey, you know what? I got this here. Can you send someone? I'm sure law enforcement would be happy to go check those clues because they're looking for those type of stuff too.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're looking.
How far back will those clues be left? What's the most the oldest type of situation you've dealt with?
Well, as a tracking standpoint, you should have a general idea about the aging. Those the most important thing for me that we already look at it is what was the weather that day that she went missing? If it was rainy, cold, sunny, things like that. What has been the weather since then? You know what I mean? For example, like on a footprint, just to give you a general idea, if it's pour raining like a river, sure, they're going to wash them away. But the footprint is under some vegetation or under a tree or things like that, they're still going to be there. About a little breakage on the vegetation, I need to know about the aging, also the breakage. Is about 2 days old, 3 days old, 6 months old. Usually it takes about 24 hours to begin to dry before you can start see the difference in the color. So, and again, if you think about it, if somebody steps out of the vehicle, for example, and he carries, I'm going to say, 50 pounds of weight, he's not going to walk that far away. He's going to be pretty close. Could be very close to a road, you know what I mean? Could be close to the water, could be in some way. They're not going to walk for a mile, 2 or 3 miles in with something to go bury something or hide something. So it's got to be in an area that it is very close for public access. But we've been missing those clues because when I was there, I forgot the name of the road, but Maricris took me in there and I can see garbage on both sides of that road. And I said, well, we got to check that. Yeah, sure, they've been there for a while, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, including on the sides of freeways. It's a lot of garbage. But now if you find, like, a plastic bag or a blanket or something, and a bigger item, that's the things you got to check. Not just small little clues, you know what I mean? Small little things.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is this you right here in this picture?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's me. Yes.
Now tell us what you're doing there in this.
Okay.
This is
Oh,
pretty interesting.
okay. So during the summer, between 11 in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, as the sun start moving up high in the sky, it's like a flashlight pointing a flashlight straight down, what washes out everything. So what we actually do is, as a military boonie cop, or like a cowboy hat, something wide enough where I can actually make shade. I grab a signal mirror and I point it towards the sun at the low angle. That way I can bring a lot of light across to be able to see the footprints, a small little detail. So that's what I'm doing, is reading the sun angle to actually be able to recognize what I'm looking for.
And let's see here. Let me go up here. I see you got in the military here. Or I see that your history. And this is moving? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So
That's
and this is you
tracking in the desert. Sorry.
Okay. So and I mean, this is perfect. Why God's put you guys together. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, this is your environment, and this is the area that they've been searching for forever. And wow, I never discount how God always sends the next piece to help solve a problem. And here you are now, Fernando, as part of Maya's family, and trust me, I know that feeling, because they welcomed me the day we met, and it is amazing how amazing they are. And these are, here you're training a class of search and rescuers,
Yeah.
and is this what you have, Maricris? SARS Tracker 1?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm level 1.
Level 1. I
level 1
love
right
it.
now. Yeah,
That's awesome. And go ahead.
Well, it's been a year that we've been doing the searching for my sister, and Chris, we've just been a volunteer-led searchers, and nobody had really led us on how to search, and how do we do our job searching. So and the team, I wanted to make sure we do it right. So we decided to get trained at the end of the year in December, and I was fortunate enough to able to get Fernando to train us, and it was an eye-opening for the whole team to do how search and rescue is being done, or searches is being done. And it's like a lot of stuff that we learned, it's like, oh my gosh, we could have done it a better job. But again, we're just it was just that urge, like that thinking of wanted to do a better job in searching. So that's why I contacted Fernando, and we're fortunate enough for him to say yes to come and teach us, because we've been contacting a lot of search and rescue instructors, and we never had a luck. And fortunately Fernando said yes. He didn't hesitate to say yes, then he'll be there and teach us. So we're blessed to have him.
Wow, that's amazing. And Fernando, so in level 1, you basically prepare them for urban, rural, and night tracking under ideal conditions. What describe that a little bit more? You kind of put that in quotes. What are ideal conditions?
Yes, pretty much it was trained to do, like, you know what I mean, like a line search, looking for any type of evidence, very slow, you know what I
Like
mean,
in a
type of
grid
thing
search
like
and that
that.
kind
When
of
the
stuff?
line is completely straight and
Mhm.
looking for anything that is out there. They know the basics in tracking, including night operations, to track somebody during the night, what to look for, what not to look for. and they knew the basics as a sign cutting, and now to preserve and protect the evidence until law enforcement arrives. So it was a lot of information that was shared just in a small amount of time that I went there. But that's why I want to keep going back, and I want to help them as much as I can, because I'm a volunteer too, like they are, a lot of them.
Sure.
And it's kind of
And then
nice
you've
when
got
they're
the
trying to help another volunteer team, not just for this young lady that we're looking for, but also for future searches.
yes, yes,
I wish
yes.
there would be more people with good hearts to get involved with this. And little by little by little, they're going to learn so much.
Yep.
Then the
And then
next
you
time
have the
around, they're
SAR
going to look at everything a little bit different and might solve the case.
absolutely. And then you have the Search and Rescue Tracker 2. That's a little bit
Correct.
more in advanced, right? What is
Yes,
that
sir.
about?
Search and rescue tracking too is more advanced stuff, and more hands on it in all different types of terrains, and not just on the desert terrain, but heavy vegetation, pine needles, rocks, urban, and all that. A lot of stuff.
And then sign cutting. That sounds like a pretty cool class.
Yes, sign cutting. That's one of the highest level in search and rescue United States. That's when they use multiple teams to be able to cut for sign quick and fast to close the time and the distance of the missing person.
And that's my dog, as you can hear in the background.
That's Buddy.
That's Mr. Buddy. She's saying hi, Fernando. He's welcome you to the family here.
Thank you so much.
And then, of course, you have Sign 2, which is the most advanced class that can be
Correct.
offered. Oh, then you have crime scene tracking too. Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Wow. So if people want to get hold of you, folks, you can go over to professionaltrackers.com, professionaltrackers.com, and you can take these classes and then hopefully you can get out there and help, especially if you're in San Diego,
Yes.
to get out there to help along here with
And
everybody.
since
Go
next
ahead.
week I'm going to be there, and if we have any more team members that would like to come up and help find this young lady, even if they don't have no experience at all, they can come with me. And I teach them as we're going to go. You know what I mean? We're just going to go there for the same cause. Try to
And
find
where do you live?
Where? So anybody's welcome to come. Just make sure they have a good pair of boots. I'm sure Mary Chris can give them the information and some water, and we just go for a hike and search certain areas. I will take them with me anytime.
Now, where do you live? Where's home?
I live in Reno, Nevada.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, that and so again, that's where I live. But the other planes is not direct flight to San Diego. I guess I got a flight to Las Vegas and Las Vegas to San Diego. So, but that's okay.
Yeah,
That's no
definitely.
problem. I get used to it. I will get there one way or the other, and I'm going to help them.
One of my good friends was a deputy sheriff up there, Tom Green, and
Yes.
Reno PD was one of my old bosses, Mike Pullman. He was the chief up at Reno for many years, and so I know a couple of people around the country, and not many, but
our sheriff is a very good man. We all of us up there, we love our sheriff. He's a really good guy.
Awesome. Well, let's Mary Chris, Richard, let's just talk about you guys for a minute. How are you guys, coping? How are you dealing with all of this, since the last time we talked? I mean, what say you?
How you feeling, babe? How you doing?
We just take it a day at a time. Like that's what we've been doing. I mean, we pray that today will be the day. We'll get finally an answer. But again, since the beginning, I just hope we find his sister a day after she was missing, and then it went to days and weeks and now months, and it's just getting longer. But I'm again, we have the faith, and that we're not losing hope, that one day we will find her, we will bring her home, and so that's what's having us get up in the morning and say, uh, you know today might be the day, and we have to keep on going, and we have to keep on moving, and we keep on searching. But it is hard, it is tough. I don't want anybody to be in the same shoes as we have, but it is what it is. It's the reality, and we just have to face it. But our faith is just kept us going. And I have my husband here, that's just been giving me the strength and energy, and then the entire family. And then with the thought that we just want to find the truth, and we just want to find our sister and bring her home. That's what keeps us going, and that's what kept me going, and that's what kept me motivated, and getting up every morning.
Yeah, you guys have been really, really, really strong through this whole thing, and you're pacing yourself for the trial and a lot of these hearings and stuff. So you're an example to the world, and however I can help you here at TIR, I know that many thousands and tens of thousands of people your family is in their prayers, and we hope that you feel the strength of those prayers from
Yeah,
around the world.
yeah, everyone is moving the mountains, a little
right.
a little at a time, but we do feel the mountains being moved with everyone's help and with everyone's prayer. So
That's
we
right.
do feel the prayers. So
God is answering those prayers little by little.
Yep.
People like you, Chris, people like Fernando, so you guys are the prayers. You guys are those answers that God is opening those doors. And little by little, like you said, He doesn't want us to together. Sorry, I had a phone call.
Okay.
But yeah, gotta keep doing what we gotta do, and keeping faith and working hard towards our goal. And we'll find her. We'll find her soon.
yeah,
We just don't know. We
in
just got,
God's own timing.
yeah.
Yeah, he has respect the timing, and we just have to do what we needed to do. And it just reminded me, Chris, it's February, I believe it was February 19 of last year. I'm not sure if exactly, or the 20th, but that this month is the month where we actually, the first time we spoke, and we were in the trailer, we were in Glamis, and it just kind of brings me back to that time. And we're all like really scared. I mean, like my entire family was searching in Glamis, and we were in that trailer, and you called. We had a conversation, and you said, you promised. I was like, that we're gonna bring my sister home, that you're gonna see the end of this. And I was like, do you remember that our spirit just got lifted at that time? And then we go like, we can't believe somebody would promise us that he's gonna help us until the end. And then we're like, oh my gosh, there's hope, and that we could solve this, that we can bring her home, and you keep that promise. We're still here together, and we appreciate that. But just to let you know, you boost our spirit at that time, that that we can bring justice to my sister.
Well, you guys have been you did it to me. Go ahead, Richard. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to say thank you.
I love you. You know that. You guys are you're you've been family for me, and like, you've treated us as well as the world. It's the least that anybody could do. There's an old saying, the greatest exercise you'll ever do is lift somebody else up. And if, you know, I used to have, I had a very wise, uh, I had some very wise friends I was blessed to be surrounded with. And one of the principles was, no man got to the top of the mountain by falling there. And sometimes it's definitely a journey. And, like everybody else, I'm a very small, uh, spiritual being living in an eternal existence, in a mortal journey. And sometimes it makes sense. And how many times have you heard me say to you guys, don't try to make any sense of it, because you won't figure it out. And to your credit, you guys have taught us how to persevere, how to move forward, how to take each day, each step, one in front of the other. And, the details of that at some point will become clear to you guys in relationship to what you have to do with it. No, a gift has no value unless you give it away. And
Right.
and you've been giving your gift. God gave your sister to the world. She did not deserve what happened to her. And so that's where justice and mercy come in. That's where, we don't have this understanding of why certain things happen, but we put our faith in a higher source. And for some, it's, there's variances into that in relationship to what people think or do, or, who they worship. And for each of those individuals is a good thing. But at the same time, as we progress through this journey of life together, all of us, we realize at some point that our days are numbered unto the Lord. They're known. And I can't tell you how many times, on the street, I would get this impression, don't go in there. And I would stop. And one time it was a long time ago, just briefly, I was at the bottom of a stairwell, and I had my dog, Irk. Remember Irk the jerk?
Okay.
German
And
Shepherd.
I had this strong impression, Christopher, don't go up those stairs. And I sent the dog. And hiding underneath a bed, he actually went under the bed, was a guy who was intent on taking my life. And he told me so. When I got to the top of the stairs, Irk was eating him in terms of taking him into custody. And he stopped and he said, why didn't you come up the stairs after I got him handcuffed? And I said, I can't tell you. I just had an impression I wasn't supposed to. He said, I was going to kill you.
Wow.
And you see, that's how God works. And he's worked like that over the last year for you guys. And Fernando is a perfect example of that. And many other people who have come into your life. I'm just a very small, particle in the picture. Okay? But the world now makes up the picture. And Maya has been a gift to the world, even though she had to give her life for it. And who does that emulate? So, not that I'm comparing her there, I'm just saying, across the board, no greater gift can be given. And now it's your responsibility, which you guys have been carrying that mantle extremely well, to take it to the next level with the children and the grandchildren one day. You see, we don't measure our success by our children. We measure our success by our grandchildren. How they turn out is how well we did. And that is going to be your sister's legacy. You guys have stuck to it till it sticks to you. And all these other people around the world who love you, support you, and care about you, we'll see them in the chat this weekend. And hopefully they'll hit that helpmaya.com, go to the donate $1 page. If you can donate more, that'd be awesome because it keeps them moving. But if it's just a widow's mite, then so be it. That's more than enough. And things will keep moving. Okay, well, you know, I would go on for days and clog up your entire afternoon, but I know you've got things to do. And, you know, my tradition here is always to give you the last word. And then from there, I want to tell Fernando, thank you
Thank you.
for your heart, for your commitment, for your love to this family. And I know you have also made an impact, I'm sure of it, in many other people's lives. And for that, I'm sure they are grateful. So
Thank you so much.
you're welcome so much. We just think you're fantastic. And you're welcome back here anytime. You just hit me up, my
Thank you
friend.
very
And,
much.
okay, so Maricris Richard, you have the last word as always, and then we'll go to Hawaii. Okay, sound like a plan? Okay,
That'd be
there you go.
nice. Yeah. Just say thank you to the McDonough family, Karen,
Dylan,
Dylan, and
buddy.
everybody listening. Just thank you for all the continued support. I know it's been over a year since Maya went missing. We never imagined we would be here now. God's great. He's put a great team together. We have a great, strong search team that God has sent to us. Just want a big shout out to the Team Maya. You guys know who you are if you're ever watching this. You guys are like family to us. We do our best to, stay positive and continue to search. But yeah, just want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. From the Tapalanza family, they're hurting. Keep keep Maya's kids in prayer. They truly really need prayer. They need a lot of love. And the fight ain't over. The mountain's still there. We're knocking it down little by little, but it's a big mountain. With God's help, we'll get to the finish line. We'll find justice, and once Maya's found, we'll continue our search for missing people. We'll continue helping families around the world. I don't know how, but I think God's in charge of that. I think He's gonna put families together, because that's what the devil wants to destroy, families, and we're not gonna allow that. God won't allow that, and just basically, like I said, continue praying, and we'll continue saying thank you, and we'll continue our searches till she is found and justice is brought to her kids. Her kids need her mom. They need answers. And if you can, please support the Tapalanza family by going to helpfindmaya.com. Like Chris mentioned, $1 goes a long way for our search efforts, bringing search teams together, bringing people like Fernando from another state to come and help us and help other families. It's all going to them. It's all going to it's all going for Maya. It's all going to Maya and her kids. Nothing goes to us. We don't, but we're just blessed to have it, Chris and organizations coming out and helping us out, like Rescue 911? Bill from Wyoming. He was a blessing to have. Great guy to work with. And you want to say something?
Yeah, just everyone, thank you for supporting us since the beginning. We continue to ask again for help and support. It's not ending yet, but we are blessed to have everyone that's been helping us. So we are very thankful for everyone. With all the people that have been helping us, Fernando that stepped up and guide us in our search efforts, and also we have another guy, Fernando's friend, Rick Gobel, that's been helping us with the maps, the mapping of areas that is suggested to be searching. Rick Gobel, thank you so much, and again, Chris, Karen, and Dillan. Thank you guys for all the help you guys been, giving it to us. We truly appreciate you. And everyone else, thank you for your support and your prayers. Thank you.
Hard working every day. I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts. Wish we could fly away. You and I go to our favorite place. Oh yeah. Make special memories together. I'll be your company now and forever. I say we fly away. You and me go to our favorite place. Feeling the sun on my face in Hawaii. I need a summer breeze, some fresh air to put my mind at ease. No cares. You wanna come with me? Me and you go to our favorite tree. Are you ready now? We jump on a plane now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. Don't hesitate now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. We'll never come down. We're going away. Yeah, we're going away. You and me. Feeling the sun on my face in a while.